Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. Now, it seems to be that social networking sites, such as Facebook, are the latest way to communicate in this century. Whether these sites distract students from school studies or not have been unclear. Well, we went to find out. Layla McKinnon reports. Now, I'm here with Ryan, a 13-year-old boy who was involved in social networking sites. Now, Ryan, how long have you been on social networking sites?
I've been using social networking sites for about 3 years now. I mostly use Facebook and MySpace, and on each of those I have about 650 friends, which is not much because I want to get 900 friends.
So, how many hours a day do you spend on these sites?
Oh, at least 2 hours a day, probably often more. On the weekends I probably spend about maybe 5 hours on each day.
How do these social networking sites affect your school studies?
Oh, well, I usually go on Facebook before I do my homework. I guess that means Facebook has become a bigger priority.
Ryan's mum has even noticed a change. I've found the social networking sites to have impacted his grades dramatically. Ryan used to be an A student, and since he's been on these sites, his grades have gone downhill completely. How have you handled Ryan's social networking sites habit? I've used different methods, but often he'll be in his room on the computer and I'll think he's doing his homework, but I'll later find out he was on Facebook or something. Other parents I've spoken to have the same problem with their kids. I guess that seems to be the norm. Well, yes, Ryan's not alone, but whether or not these social networking sites habits are normal or not, one thing's for certain, they're not helping students' grades. To find out more, I interviewed Chloe, a 17-year-old female who's also involved in social networking sites. Hi, I'm Chloe, and I'm fairly new to social networking sites. I've had a Facebook account for about 6 months now, and I go on it about every time I get free time. See, I've got a fridge installed in my room, 'cause my mom was sick of me not coming out of my room to dinner. I find that I spend a lot of time on Facebook before I get onto my homework. Heaps of times I failed projects and tests because I wasted my time on Facebook chatting with friends or updating my profile when I could have been studying. It even seems to be a problem at school. At my school, all the social networking sites are completely blocked. But everyone just uses a proxy server to get around this blockage. It's not that hard. See? And as long as teachers aren't watching, we spend our computer time on social networking sites. So proxy servers get around blocked sites. Closed doors get around snooping parents. So how can we stop this problem before it's too late?
I think that if adults educate us about the effects social networking sites can have on us, then we might spend less time on them. Otherwise, Facebook, here I come.
I think that we should be allowed time to go on the social networking sites as long as we spend time doing our homework and school studies, I guess. Having a balance is the key. I just hope they fix this problem before it's too late. Destroying these young people's grades is disastrous. It is indeed. Layla McKinnon with that report.